Think back to when you were a teenager. What did you really love to do back then that you eventually lost interest in as you became an adult? For me, that lost love was guitar. I used to spend hours and hours playing guitar in my bedroom. I even went to college for music and I graduated with a degree in guitar performance. But not all love is meant to last forever, and eventually I stopped playing music and I put my guitars in the closet for good. If you're anything like me, then you have to keep busy and eventually some other interest shows up and just fills your free time. For me, that hobby was riding my bike. At first, I just rode on the weekends for exercise, and then I experimented with bike commuting. Eventually, I sold my car and I used my bike for transportation full time. I even rode during the Minnesota winter, including on days when we had negative 40-degree wind chills and my eyelashes would freeze shut while I was trying to ride. Eventually, all this time on the bike pedaled me into who I've become today, a long-distance, solo bike tourer. This year I'm riding my bike 5,000 miles, raising money to support after-school programming at the Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm really proud of this project, especially because I had to sacrifice so much to make it happen. For example, I quit the best job that I've ever had to do this ride, and if you've ever been unemployed, you know how stressful making that decision was for me, especially when job prospects for the future equate to little more than minimum wage. But I wouldn't have abandoned all that income just because I wanted to ride my bike. And I wouldn't have sacrificed so much only to raise money for charity. The reason I'm doing this bike tour is because I believe in the mission of the Boys and Girls Clubs. The Boys and Girls Clubs provide after-school and summertime programming for youth that otherwise might not have a place to go. I know firsthand how important their work is because I used to be one of these kids. As a teenager, I spent my free time hanging out in the wrong crowds, making bad choices a majority of the time. I know what it's like for a lot of these kids. They're just one bad decision away from getting kicked out of school or worse. That's why I believe in the mission of the Boys and Girls Clubs so strongly. And I should note, I'm not just raising money for their organization. I'm also visiting clubs along my route, providing support in any way that I can. Whether it's through giving presentations to youth about my ride, taking photos to be included in Boys and Girls Club newsletters, or creating videos that the clubs can use to spread their message, I'm riding my bike 5,000 miles to inspire great futures for our nation's youth. If you have any questions about the Benevolent Bike Tour, scroll down to the My Story section of this fundraiser. There you'll find answers to the most common questions I receive from my supporters. So far, the Benevolent Bike Tour has raised well over $10,000, and a few months ago, I couldn't have even imagined that the campaign would be this successful. If you're someone who believes that youth deserve great futures and you're willing to do something about it, support this fundraising campaign by making a donation today.